Hey, what's up, Raza? It's your boy Chuco Sam, and I went to an event today, a little gathering, and they were playing a lot of Tejano music, and a lot of the songs that they were playing were Joe Lopez. Um, if you don't know who Joe Lopez is, he was one of the founders of Grupo Mazz back in the '80s, '90s. Tejano singer, and he was real popular. He had a lot of good songs, but then he went and he messed it up, and well, what he did was he was raping, he was sexually assaulting his then 13-year-old niece, and he got convicted for it. Just like SPM, and they gave him, I think, like 20 years, 30 years, something like that. There's a debate on that. I think they gave him like 20 years, but he only did like, I think he only did like 12 of the 20 or something like that. And he got out. I think that was like about 5 or 6 years ago, something like that. It's been a while, since he got out. But then he was up for an award for, I guess the Tejano Awards were gonna give him some kind of award. But a lot of people say, hey, wait a minute, an award for what? That dude's a child molester. He's a sex offender, and the Tejano committee said, hey, you know what? Let's retract. Let's rescind. Let's not give him the award. Because people are outraged. Of course, they're outraged, as they should be. We shouldn't, as Tejanos, as Texans, as Houstonians, we shouldn't allow that shit. We shouldn't give child molesters a free pass. Just because they're popular or because they got good songs or because this or that. They're human, just like us. You know what I'm saying? They're nobodies. They're just somebody that has a talent or has a career as a singer or an actor or whatever the fuck they want to do. You know? At the end of the day, they bleed just like me and you. They're nobody special. They're just entertainers who were big at one time, just like SPM. Even though I don't like that motherfucker, he did pretty good for himself. I can't take that away from him. He was on top of his game back in the day, and so was Joe Lopez. So was Joe Lopez. But there's a lot of people that believe that he may be innocent or that he is innocent, that he was set up, that people want his feria. Why would a 13-year-old girl make some shit like that up? He was convicted. Obviously, they found something, some kind of evidence or something to put him away. A lot of people protect these people because they're famous or because they had a song back in the day, que la chingada. No. We, as people, anybody with common sense knows once somebody goes that route, once they wear that jacket of a Chester or a child molester, whatever you want to call them, once it goes that route, whatever fame or liking to them that they had, that shit goes out the window. They get shunned. For those of you that don't know what shunned is, they get outcasted. They get ousted. All that shit that they had, whatever, the popularity, it doesn't matter anymore. You don't bring them up. You don't glorify them. You don't support them. That's just common sense. Oh, but I like his music. That's cool. I can't say nothing about that. Because I was a big fan of Michael Jackson myself, like back in the day, when I was a kid. Even though Homeboy he never got convicted of this shit. He never did time for it or whatever. I still kind of like, you know what? When the song comes out, you know what? I don't want to listen to that. Even though Homo was never convicted. But to have those allegations, you know what I'm saying? And it used to be people only here in Texas. It seems now, with the whole Jale, the whole situation with Jenny 6ix9ine and Miss Lady Pinks over there in California, you know, a lot of people like crying and shit, talking about, oh, you know, Lady Pink, she shouldn't have jumped her, que la verga, que el whoop-de-woo, que she's a civilian. You know what? I don't really listen to Miss Lady Pinks. I'm not a big fan of hers, but she did the proper thing. She did the proper thing. Why in the hell are rappers from California just now like flipping the script? Why all of a sudden, que SPM, que eso, que lo otro? Who gives a shit? He's a fucking washed up child molester that had a few hit songs in the early 2000s. He's been in jail for 20 years. And they're fighting about it. Just people in general, you know, I used to respect California because they have a little bit more structure when it comes to shit like that. You know, the G code and all that stuff. When you go to prison, you know, you're a target if you're a child molester. At least in the old days. I don't know about now. Everybody's so damn friendly. Que esto que el otro. Oh, he's innocent. Don't even get me started on the other fool. You know? Joe Lopez got convicted for one victim, his niece, which is sick. You know? And I'm sitting there like, I'm listening to this guy's music and I'm like, man, I wish somebody would turn that shit off. I don't give a fuck how popular he was in the 80s or in the 90s or whatever. I don't care. Hey, he fucked that shit up for himself. Raza, Chicanos, you know what time it is, homies. You know, we don't support Chesters and shit like that. Snitches and... Nah, hell no. When did that change? I was used to people hearing, Houston, que SPM, pobrecito, he got set up. Y que también Joe Lopez, he did the same thing to him. Nah, look, man. If he didn't do it, then God forgive me. But the courts, the shit like that, they didn't find him guilty just for shits and giggles. I'm sorry to say. They found something on him. They found enough evidence to convict him. He's a child molester. He's a convicted sex offender. He has to wear an ankle monitor. He can't come to Harris County. He can't come nowhere near Harris County. He can't have contact with minors under 17. You know? If he's out and the courts decided that, you know, he did his time, then fine. The courts decided that. We really can't hate on that. But everybody over here crying that he deserved the award, that lifetime achievement, and this and that. Maybe he did at one point, but he fucked that up. You know what I'm saying? You do the crime, you pay the time, you suffer the consequences. You know? So, please, people, open your eyes. I know to some people he might be a good singer, man, you know? That's cool, whatever. You like his music, but once again, child molesters, sexual predators, people like that, sick people, sick individuals, shouldn't be like held up on an altar. que esto que el otro. Hell no. And SPM, that's another one, man. Joe Lopez got convicted for one, charged with one, or whatever. SPM at one point had like 8 different people accusing him of the same thing. But people still saying that he was railroaded, that he was set up 8 times. 8 times. Come on, man. I know he was a rapper and all that stuff, but his raps weren't all that. That fool ain't never had nothing to do with raza. You know what I'm saying? That fool's not a vato, man. He's not a ese. He's not a Chicano, man. He might be technically Chicano, but he don't carry himself as one. Teaching little kids the N-word and how to smoke weed and all that shit. But then he fucking flips the script talking about, I never showed his little boys. I always preached, que la chingada. Like, he tries to play the good guy, You see, sexual predators are real good gaslighters, manipulators. Kind of like Trump. You know what I'm saying? They're real people. They're smart when it comes to being devious and shit like that. I mean, it's usually people that you trust. It's like an uncle. It's usually always the fucking uncles. Or and weird cases, the dad or the grandfather. There's always somebody in the family or the neighbor or the priest or somebody that you trust. They're real good at convincing people. But don't fall for that shit. We're supposed to protect our kids and our family and our homies and shit like that. If you ask me, man, fuck Joe Lopez. Fuck him and fuck SPM. You know what I'm saying? So, they did what they did. I mean, they're doing their time. And if SPM gets out in 2024, they're good for him. But he shouldn't be honored. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't be like put on a pedestal and shit like that. Those people need to go like fall to the wayside because they're outcasts. Once you do some stupid shit like that, you're an outcast, man. You're shunned. That's just the way it goes, man. But anyways, that's just my opinion. I mean, I get passionate about this shit because I don't like sexual offenders. I really don't. Now the situation with SPM, that's a whole different story. I get tired of talking about that guy. My point is, the point of this video was to like shed light on why do Texans support people like that, man? That makes us look bad. Like giving a free pass. Like, hey man, you know what? Fuck it, hey, it was a mistake, or you got set up, or that girl was underage and she tricked you, and like that's okay. But yeah, you keep doing it again, over and over. Come on, man. Just pull the wool from over your eyes. All I gotta say is the Tejano Awards Committee did the right thing by not giving that fool an award. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve to be popular. He doesn't deserve none of that shit. I mean, what about his victim? What about the little girl? She's like 20 something now. I remember when they first released him, like about 5 or 6 years ago. She was on the news crying. They didn't even call her. They let him out. They just let him out. But anyways, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I know I talk a lot of shit sometimes, but that's just my opinion. What do you think? In the comment section below, just let me know what you really think. You think he was set up? I mean, the fact that he was popular at one time, does that like give him some kind of creds? Like it gives him some kind of like, hey, you know what? He's trustworthy. We can take his word for it. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say go throw his shit away, burn his records, his CDs or whatever, his tapes. I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna tell you to stop listening to him. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. That's fine. You want to listen to Joe Lopez? That's fine. You want to listen to SPN? That's fine. The thing is, they shouldn't be supported, glorified, or anything like that, man. That's just the way life goes. That's just the way it is. That's the way it should be. But anyways, that's enough of my rant. Thank you for watching. Hasta, next time. A ratos.